Hello and welcome back to Small Soldier. I'd like to thank you for being here. In today's video, I'll be reviewing Blitz-Kit out of France. They are Resin 1/35th scale figures, and they are 1940 French, so World War II era. The first figure here is a tanker, the second is an officer, and the third is a tanker radio operator. Now, as far as price goes, I checked on the Blitz-Kit website. These do retail there for $23 Canadian. When you convert the euro to the Canadian, it's around 23 Canadian. So if you just give a comparison, let's say to Alpine retail for around $17 Canadian. Quality-wise, they are comparable. They are more pricey, but the only thing is you may have trouble finding French figures. I know Alpine carries a couple, and there are some plastic sets out there, but as far as resin goes, there isn't a lot of French subject matter, so you may, depending on your budget, you may decide to go for these. Alright, first off, it does come in quite a small box. It's a sturdy box. They came undamaged, so yeah, decent box. Let's take a look at the figure. So as you can see, the details are quite nice. You've got all the belt buckle detail. The folds are very well done. Everything's very crisp. There's no soft detail in here. Epaulettes and the seams and the clothing all detailed well. The pistol pouch is very nice. It's got some great detail there. The folds look very natural. One of the things I look for on figures all the time are the hands and the feet. As you can see here, that hand's sculpted fairly well too. Well, it's only the thumb, the other portion is in the pocket. There's really no defects, no air pockets in the resin. Looks like there's a bit of a pour plug right here that has to be removed. Some more pour plug there, and it looks like a bit of a mold seam there, but really not that much. I think as far as cleanup goes, it should be fairly quick with these guys. Let's take a look at the head and the hand. Facial details are quite nice. The only thing is I found on most of the figures I don't know if I can get in that tight, but right in there it seems to be a little problem with the molding, that the material didn't push all the way into here, so there's a bit of a sink mark there, but that should be fairly easy to fix with a little bit of putty. Everything's very smooth. The hand is molded really well to the cup, and the cup is hollowed out, so that figure is quite nice. This fella is the tanker, and I've blue tacked the arm on. The parts that you have to add to the figures do lock in and fit very nice. It seems to be a lighter colored resin on this fella, so it's harder to pick up. The detail there on the goggles is really good. And again, the webbing and the belts have all the hooks and the clasps. The hand here looks really good. There's a bit of a pour plug there. That's easy to remove. And again, the folds look very natural. I don't see any air pockets or air bubbles in here. Everything's looking really good. So again, another excellent sculpt here. Quite impressed with those guys. So the face looks quite good on that fellow again. The ear sculpting detail is quite nice. The collar detail is good again. Looks like a unit symbol right here. On the interior of the helmet, the goggles, and the typical French tanker's helmet of the period. I think just in here there's some pockets of air that didn't quite get filled in by the resin. Beautiful, another great sculpt. I will be doing a full painting demo on a 35th scale figure, and this will be the subject matter for that.
Yeah, baby, yeah!
The officer, which I feel is probably the nicer of the three figures, pose-wise. So it's just a hand and a head is all you have to deal with. Again, on this figure, everything is molded on. And again, excellent quality as far as the sculpting goes. Folds in the clothing are really well done. They look natural. There's some sort of, I think, a leather gaiter that runs up the leg here. And it has belting and webbing that hold it together there, and the boot detail is excellent. Now, I did clean up the hand and the head. I did have quite a bit of cleanup on the head, I have to admit. There was a nasty seam along the side there and right up here by the ear, so that took a little bit of doing. I will show you when I do the painting demo how to clean up a resin figure and put it together, as well as the painting itself. There you can see that excellent detail again to the belt and the webbing and the folds and the holster on the gun. And there's a map case. And the scarf that's around his neck is really well done. Typical French officer or tanker, you know, they all have this scarf that's tucked into their belt. I don't know if that was the way they all kind of dressed, but they all seem to have that kind of look about them. There's not really any indication of hair on this fellow. Either I'll sculpt some hair in or just paint that detail in. And in here, really that was the only fault again, was inside the eye sockets. This one's quite bad actually. You can see there's a deep hole there that has to be filled, and on this side. More on this side here though. But again, that's pretty simple to fix with a little putty. So there you go, that's the review for these 3 figures. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope that was informative for you. If you are looking for these resin figures, you can find them again, like I said, on Blitz-Kit. And you shouldn't have a problem getting those orders filled fairly quickly. So as always guys, don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell notification, give me a thumbs up, and leave a comment. And I'll talk to you guys real soon. Bye bye.